Right now we are joined by SABC foreign correspondent Jack Parrok from Brussels. Jack, thank you for being with us. So it seems we have this commonality, this appreciation for cooperation with the EU. Was he really pointing that out today?
He really was. It was quite a well-received speech in the European Parliament. As you would often expect from a South African leader, they are very in favour of South Africa as a country, and you might remember that as soon as Nelson Mandela was released from prison, it was one of his first visits to the European Parliament in Strasbourg, and the European parliamentarians really used Nelson Mandela's legacy in a lot of their sort of everyday philosophies and political sort of speeches. So certainly Cyril Ramaphosa went down that line as well. He reminded the Parliament of Mandela's legacy, and he continued to say that they wanted to deepen cooperation, to strengthen ties, and to continue. Interestingly, those comments about turning the back on xenophobia and racism and nationalism, etc., are echoing the comments that French President Emmanuel Macron made over the weekend that were felt to be directed somewhere towards Donald Trump. But certainly Donald Trump, the US President, responded on Twitter feeling that they were. So we're starting to see a sort of the leaders of the countries that want that sort of openness sort of making quite strong speeches in favour of internationalism.
So because of Brexit, we know the EU is looking for new trading partners. I mean, is that Cyril Ramaphosa's main goal?
Certainly. He's brought along with him Tito Mboweni, the finance minister, and Rob Davies, the trade minister. So it's clear that during the summit on Thursday, when he meets with the heads of the European Commission and the European Council, Donald Tusk and Jean-Claude Juncker, that what he's looking for is sort of firm commitments on investment partnerships. The EU and South Africa have a good trading relationship. The EU is South Africa's largest trading partner, and South Africa is the EU's biggest trading partner on the African continent. So there's a history of this. 73% of foreign investment in South Africa comes from the European Union. So there are deep ties. But Cyril Ramaphosa knows that he wants to strengthen those ties as South Africa's economy turns a corner, and that's what he's really out here doing. He did it 2 weeks ago in Germany. He wants foreign direct investment, boosting jobs, boosting the economy, and getting money into the South African economy.
You said his address was well received, and there's a general sort of glow around South Africa. Are there any signs, though, that perceptions have changed because of our own political ructions in recent years? Is it any harder for him this time to really harness that goodwill to South Africa?
Well, I think he was welcomed openly at this speech at the European Parliament, but he did have to defend the land reform programme that he was putting into place. That's got quite a lot of attention over here in Europe. There's quite a lot of discussions about what that means and what that means in the sort of broader context of South African politics and society. People have taken a look at that. He came out during this speech and insisted that those land reforms that he's putting into place are in line with the South African constitution. So that was the one slightly sort of prickly moment for him, and something that he certainly knew that he had to address in front of the parliamentarians.
All right, thank you very much, foreign correspondent Jack Parrok.